Good evening, and welcome to our YouTube channel, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Tonight we have Episode 3 of Horror on the Orient Express, with yours truly as the Game Master. Now, we had originally scheduled for Thomas to do the recap, but he's not feeling well, so I guess we'll sort of wing it this time. If you recall, the characters had all traveled to London in order to visit Professor Smythe and participate in the Challenger Lecture, where some of their own research was presented. Afterwards, they enjoyed London and traveling around until they read in the newspaper that the professor's house had burned to the ground. They were in distress, and after not too long a period of time, they received a note from the professor telling them to meet him in Whitechapel, where they all traveled to. The professor had been very severely burned. James Beddoes had also been burned. The professor was afraid for his life. They had been attacked by a group of Turks who had apparently wanted his notes on a certain artifact called the Sedefkar Simulacrum. He was grateful that his notes had all burned in the fire, but he begged the players to find this artifact and to destroy it before the bad guys got their hands on it. James Beddoes took extensive notes, which he gave to the players afterwards, and he told them that he would be moving the professor immediately to a hospital out in the country, a secure place, a secret place, because if he took him to the regular hospital, he would no doubt be attacked by the Turks again, who needed the information. And that's more or less where we've left off. Everybody is left the professor's house, and now they need to know what to do. Or now I need to know what they're going to do. So it's in your hands, folks.
Well, I did. Oh, right.
I was just going to say, so are we still at Smythe's right now, or?
No, you've left.
We've left, okay.
You've also, by the way, in case you did forget, Beddoes gave you a valise with 1,000 pounds in it. Pretty much it's about $4,500, and told you that they were planning on taking the Orient Express to look for it themselves, to look for the artifact themselves, but they obviously didn't get to it.
What time of day is it?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wayne.
I'm sorry. What time of day is it?
I believe that it's late afternoon.
Okay.
I think we lost Richard.
Oh, no. Did Dr. Smythe relate to us what the consequences were should we fail?
No.
Okay.
I'm not sure that he knows what the consequences are. It's just he obviously stumbled onto something that's far more significant than what he thought that it was. He thought that he had time.
So maybe it sounds like maybe our first line would be to start doing some research.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In fact, I suggested it a few minutes ago. Why don't you read the notes through out loud so that everybody can remember? Would you mind doing that, Jeff?
Sure. Should we wait for Richard or just dive right in?
You know what? Let's wait a second for Richard to show up.
Okay.
I think
Only because you said you weren't sure if you had sent him the notes or.
I didn't. He doesn't have Facebook, so.
Okay.
And I can't find him just offhand at the moment. So we'll have a little gap here right in the very beginning. Is there anything you want to discuss about what happened, or you can say that you're all standing out front, or that you've headed back to your hotel?
I would imagine that all of us are sort of pouring around this particular letter that Bellows just gave us. So I'm looking at each destination. I guess the closest would be Paris. So that will definitely be our first stop.
Okay. Now, when it comes to it, there is no ultimately there's a tunnel between England and France. At this point, there's not, and yet the Orient Express does function out of London. It just has a few little jumps in it where you're going to have to take a boat.
Okay.
But yeah, you said research is what you'll probably want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what, let's see.
In his notes at the bottom, it talks about a set of documents known as the Sedefkar Scrolls. Is that something that we know about? I mean, Smythe talked about it, but is that something that Smythe had and was burned in the fire, or?
What does it say at the bottom?
The only sure way to destroy. Oh, here he is.
There he comes. Oh, good. You made it back. We actually waited for you.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry.
They're gonna read the notes.
Okay.
So these are the notes that Beddoes took while Professor Smythe was
in agony. Yeah.
Yeah, in agony, reading, dictating. So it starts off with the Sedefkar Simulacrum. Simulacrum. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Is an occult artifact of evil power. It was taken apart and scattered across Europe at the end of the 18th century. Retrieve the pieces and destroy it. The statue was dismembered in Paris just prior to the French Revolution. Part of it may still be in France. The owner was noble Comte Fenelac. Napoleon's soldiers carried a piece into Venice when they invaded that city. Another fragment made its way to Trieste at the same time. Its fate is unknown. Look up Johann Wickelmann at the museum. There may be a piece in the kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes. Start at the Natural Museum of Belgrade. Dr. Milovan can't get that one. Todovic is the curator. One part was lost near Sofia during the Bulgarian War in 1875. At that time, things of value were hidden from the invaders, so it may be buried somewhere. A piece was in circulation in Paris just after the Great War and sold to someone from Milan. The only sure way to destroy the statue is in its original home, a place in Constantinople known as the Shunned Mosque. A ritual to destroy it utterly is included in a set of documents known as the Sedefkar Scrolls.
Correct.
So that's what I was kind of asking about these Sedefkar Scrolls. Is that something that Smythe knew about, or were they his scrolls that got destroyed in the fire? Okay.
All I can say is I feel like I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we're after the part, was it the Rod of Seven Parts? We're going to be running all over the place.
All right. So
let's split the party. Let's split the party now.
While it's safe.
while it's
You obviously don't have complete information, so.
Of course. So yeah,
yeah,
well,
and
let's head
some
to
of
the
us
library.
have played Mr. Corbett too, and lost. May I remind you, lost.
We missed you last night.
I'm not bitter. I just want you to know that.
That's what a bitter man would say.
All right, folks, let's stick to this.
All right. Onward and forward. Excuse my digress.
All right.
So to the library.
You're gonna head to the good old library.
Yeah.
Let me pull that up. The British Library is one of the largest libraries in the world. And that is what it looks like. That is just the book room. Documents are housed in other rooms, and of course the whole thing is surrounded by a museum.
Mm-hmm. We were there last night.
That's true. You probably visited a couple times while you were here in London. You've been here for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what would you like to do?
Set it on fire. We got to be safe.
All right,
Just kidding.
We're going to. I want to look up more on the supposed artifact, the Sedefkar Simulacrum.
Simulacrum?
Also, that what you just said.
I got it written down, damn it. I know the Dewey Decimal System.
All right. Okay, so Wayne's character. See, I had all of your characters written down here. Now they're gone.
Dawkins, Dr. Dawkins.
Dr. Dawkins you're going to research the simulacrum.
Mm-hmm.
What is everybody else going to do?
I'm going to research the Sedefkar scrolls.
Sedefkar scrolls, okay. Everybody else? Jeff's
I'm going to
character?
smoke my pipe outside.
Okay.
You can smoke inside.
You probably can in the long run.
I'm probably just taking in the sights until I figure out what I need to do.
All right.
I'm just a doctor of medicine, damn it.
And Jeff, what's your character going to do?
Yeah, Frank, I think just general knowledge, so exactly what Dr. Dawkins and Everett just talked about. So yeah, like just what is it to begin with, and especially interested in these scrolls. Do they exist, and where can we find them?
Okay. Do your library rolls.
Hey, I made it. I passed.
I have poor library, so I don't expect. Oh, I missed it by 1.
Okay.
And so did I. Jeez.
Okay, well that just means a matter of time has gone by.
I actually got a hard roll. So
Yeah.
Nice.
And you were looking up the simulacrum itself?
I was looking up the scrolls.
Oh, you were looking up about the scrolls. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it takes you a while, but you do ultimately, after a couple of hours, find a reference. And the reference is to a number of manuscripts referred to as the Sedefkar scrolls that were present at the Topkapi Museum in Constantinople before the Great War. But that's about all the information that you can find on it.
Could you repeat the name of the
T-O-P
K-A-P-I?
K-A-P-I, right, Topkapi Museum in
Wonderful.
Constantinople. C-O-N-S-T-A-N-T-I-N-O-P-L-E.
Okay.
Um, but nobody has found anything on the simulacrum So a couple of hours have gone by. Any other research, or do you want to continue your research looking?
Yeah, can I look up the
You're going to look for the simulacrum as well? Okay.
Yeah, just in case.
Go ahead and make your roll.
Okay. Oh no, I do not make it.
I think I want to come in. And I'm going to attempt to try to come in and help and do what I normally do best, and that is to bother somebody to do it for me. So I would like to either go for full. How do you do it? You push. You push. How do you use push?
Well, you only do that if it's a desperate situation.
It's desperate. I'm in a library, and I have no library skills, so I am desperate. I'm going to the reference desk, and male or female, I tell them that we're looking for was it simulacrum?
Yeah, this is of course.
And that it's supposed to be, and I point to a general section, and I spent the past hour. Can you please assist me?
Well, the person behind the desk says, if you need assistance,
Yes.
if you need research assistance, you'll have to hire somebody to help you with the research. There are college students from the university who are available for hire if you'd like somebody like that. You'll have to contact the university.
Oh, you mean there's nobody here to help me?
Well, it's a huge library. We're all very busy all the time.
Oh, I know you are. I'm a doctor, and I understand that. But I would like some help.
Well, as I told you, you'd have to contact the university and get a student to come and help you.
Is there somebody else here that could help me?
No, sir.
Are you sure?
I'm quite sure. I've worked here for 23 years. Yes, I'm sure.
Do you know where to find what I'm looking for, sir?
No, I don't. Well, how could I possibly?
So
There are
are you?
500,000 volumes in this library.
I know it. I've wasted my time. And I don't want to waste any more time. My good sir, could you please just assist me on this one simple task, and I will leave you alone.
Yes, I can help you. I would
Persuade.
suggest, the way I'll help you is by suggesting that you contact the university and find a student, sir.
Okay. I don't have fast roll, but I'm going to try to persuade. And obviously, Tom, you weren't persuaded. May I roll still though to persuade
You
him?
can try to persuade me.
Because I'm going to tell him I'm somebody important. Of course, as being back then as a doctor, and that's what I'm going to attempt to. So I guess this is a hard roll.
Well, just roll it, see what it comes up.
87! Yes, Yahtzee! Okay, well, he disregards me as well played out, so that's fine. I'm going to look for. I would like to spend the next 5 minutes looking for somebody that looks like a student, and I'll pretend like they're from the university. I'll ask them, "Are you going to the university?" Blah blah blah, and I'll start. And I wish to do the same rhetoric when we get a chance.
There are quite a few people in this library, young and old. So
I might probably go after somebody a little bit older, because they know the Dewey Decimal System. Smashing good, smashing. I don't care.
I'm not even sure they had the Dewey Decimal System.
This is the reason why Dewey is there. I'm going to find Dewey, and he's going to get tired of me, and he's going to invest his future.
I'm going to say do a spot hidden.
Okay, I do have spot hidden, but not library. Survey says spot hidden full is 60. And here we go. Clear this, and 29! I made it by half! Look at that! I'm a champ! Woo woo!
Okay, well, let's just say that after a while of irritating
Pestering.
numerous people, you find a young woman who is actually working on some research for somebody else.
The Turks?
And she says, you begin to bother her. And
No.
she's just like, what is it you're looking for?
This, and I look at the paper, Sacliacrium. Here, read it. This is what I'm looking for, and it's supposed to be over there. And I point to the outdoors of the children's section or something like that. And she knows that I'm an idiot because I'm a doctor. You know.
Okay.
I won't do things for myself.
Well, she says, first of all, we need to see if there's any sort of reference in the reference catalog. So she takes you over to the reference catalog, and you go through that, and she doesn't find anything. She eventually begins to look as if she's neglecting the people that she's actually working for and getting paid for. But she finally runs across a reference, and it's about as close as she can get. She said the reference basically shows that there's something like the Sedevkar simulacrum mentioned in a book from the 13th century, an illuminated manuscript that's called L'Immagine del Diavolo.
I cannot type that.
And it's located. It's possible that there's further references in the Paris, the Bibliothèque Nationale de Paris in Paris, the library there. But the farthest you've gotten after a couple of hours is only the name of a possible book, L'Immagine del Diavolo. Does anybody speak Italian or Latin?
I do.
I have Latin as well.
I'm sorry?
I also have Latin.
Okay. Doctor, did you have Latin?
Yes, 40%.
Okay. It's not exactly Latin. It's probably a dialect of it, but L'Immagine del Diavolo means the image of the devil.
I knew that. I was testing you. You did pass.
Okay. Anyways, that's all that you can find. Are there any other things that you guys would like to look up while you're at the library?
I asked her, I know that I mentioned, I see that you're obviously busy. You helped me out. I wanted to thank you. What is your day's wages?
She says I get paid about $30. Well, it's pounds. About 10 pounds a day.
Then, if possible, I would like to pay her 10 pounds right then and thank her.
All right. She takes it. She's
I'm
calling
sure she would.
the money. All right. And she goes back to what she's doing.
Okay.
How about the rest of you? What are you guys doing? What do you guys want to research?
I'm kind of interested in the Bulgarian War of 1875, just to see if I can find any information about anywhere where it might be written. Clues
Well,
to
I'm
where.
sorry. What are you looking for?
Bulgarian War in 1875. I want to just research that a little bit.
Okay, that one I'd have to actually get on the internet. I'm sure it's a real war. Hold on just a second.
Which war were you talking about?
Bulgarian War in 1875. It's one of the pieces it was the piece lost near Sofia.
Sophia is a city or a town, I assume?
It's
Yes.
a woman, but that's not important right now.
Sofia is the capital of Bulgaria.
Okay.
Sorry.
Also referred to as, oops, hold on. The Serbo-Bulgarian War. What year?
1875.
Oh, and this isn't it then. This is later. Russia-Turkish War was a conflict between the Ottoman Empire and the Eastern Orthodox coalition led by the Russian Empire and composed of several Balkan countries, fought in the Balkans and the Caucasus. It originated in emerging 19th century Balkan nationalism. Blah, 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 blah. All very dry.
Okay.
You're free to look that one up on your own.
Okay, I was just curious if there was anything that would like give a hint to where it might be hidden or buried.
Nothing. All you can find is stuff about the war itself.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Oh yes, I had a few things. I wanted to look up and see if there's any sort of reference to this Shun Mosque in Constantinople.
Okay. You don't find anything in particular. However, a couple of things have happened while you guys were doing your research. The weather outside was getting wet and stormy. A lot of people have left the library, and you find yourself there aren't too many people left in the library. And while you're researching, you notice that there is a man sitting at a table on the sort of over towards the side, and he seems to have fallen asleep while he's reading. He's in a raincoat, and you haven't seen him move for quite a while.
Quick, kill him, he's a zombie.
Is he wearing a fez?
No. You think that he may have just fallen asleep sitting there.
He's a Turk.
Followed.
You don't really find anything, any reference material at all, other than the stuff that you've already found.
I was going to ask about one other thing. I was going to research to see if there were any sort of known Turkish cults during the time of Napoleon that might have been seeking that particular artifact.
It's probably the kind of thing that it would take a great deal of research, and you don't find any immediate references to anything like that. There would have had to, of course, been somebody writing such a book, and it's not likely.
Would there be any information on the Paris noble Comte Fenelek?
You can try looking that up, but most likely you're going to find that in Paris.
Okay.
In fact, that's after you look for maybe a half an hour, you don't really have any reference to it. It's
okay.
It's something that you'd have to look up in Paris. It's now getting kind of late. The library is getting ready to close, and that guy is still over there at the table, unmoving.
I'm curious, what type of book does he have next to him?
Well, you can't really see, but he is sort of slumped over a book. You'd have to get close to actually see.
Okay, my curiosity is getting the better of me, so I'll walk close to him.
Okay. You don't see any movement at all from him.
Is there anybody at the front counter, the front desk?
Yeah, there's still a couple librarians that are cleaning up and putting stuff.
Yeah, I'll call for them. I say, I think this man needs help.
Okay.
Just see that he's moving.
So the librarian comes over to where you are, and she goes over to him and she taps him on the shoulder. Excuse me, sir. 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 And she shakes him a little bit. Nothing happens. She shakes him a little bit harder, and he sort of rolls out of the chair and onto the ground. And he's obviously dead. But more importantly than that, he's been skinned. He has no skin.
I'm going to spring into action.
She screams, and I'd like you all to sort of, well, at least the three of you other than the doctor, do a sanity roll.
Tom, when I can, I'd like to spring into action, please.
Yeah.
I'll make that.
I failed.
All right. If you made it, you take 1 point of damage. If you failed, you take 2 points of damage. And in any case, you jumped considerably. Doctor, go ahead. Spring into action.
Da-da-da! Once I spring into action, I'm going to start issuing orders, basically to call the police. I'm going to double check and make sure that he's dead, and then I'm going to order the young female away before she faints, and I guess I'll ask Mr. Dawkins to carry her away. This will give me time. I'd like to use spot hidden to grab anything that I think that I can, any clues I can pocket or anything like that.
All right. The librarian goes to call the police, and you don't find inside of his coat. There's nothing, but you suddenly realize that there is something pinned to the coat.
Okay.
And when you see what it is, it causes you to jump as well.
Okay.
In fact, I'll say go ahead and do a sanity roll. It is a piece of torn skin with something written on it.
Okay.
And that's at least enough to give you 1 point of damage if you fail.
All right. Go to my percentage dice. Let's see. Okay. So he says 40%.
And that is what you see. Can you all see that?
Yes.
I am going to I'm going to pocket that real quickly.
Ew. Okay.
Look, as a paramedic and as a registered nurse, I've put more crap in my pockets before. This is nothing. You know, I can remember going, well, I'm going to start telling war stories, looking for fingers on highways and tubes. No.
All right. Shortly thereafter, the police arrive. The police come in. They, of course, tell everybody, please be calm. There's nothing to see here. They ask you all what happened. What did you see? Can you tell me anything? Can you describe what you saw? And of course, you do. You didn't see much.
Right.
Was he in
Just
fact
all the
reading
skin
something?
man.
It looks like it's just a dictionary that he was slumped over.
What page was left on?
In page 394
D
in the
for
middle of
death.
J.
I was just making sure.
He was stripped and pieces of skin, not just the one, but there were a number of pieces of. Oh wait, all of his skin was missing. That's right. It was horrific, and of course now they're going to close the library, and it's going to be closed for a few days. The police take the body away. The coroner takes the body away, and you guys are free to go. And it's now about 8 o'clock at night.
All right. I'm going to head back to my room. Or head back to the hotel. Head back to my room. I would like to get a map of pretty much of Europe to see, and I guess where the Orient Express stops or whatever, and sort of plan my itinerary.
Well, let's just go to the library and do it. I mean, oh, that's closed.
You guys are staying at a hotel.
Yes.
Your concierge knows everything about traveling, so.
Take care of that. All right. I have him book passage.
I do have a map which I will send you. I don't have a picture of it to show you.
Okay.
As we're walking back to the hotel, I'll just suggest that maybe, I mean, the library's huge and everything, but maybe we're looking for something more that would be found in a specialty shop. I know there's probably some occult shops in the area, maybe.
That's a good idea.
How far is the universe? Well, we can't even do research now. Shoot.
Do you think they would be open this time of night?
Probably not.
Are we guys, are we gonna push on to maybe Paris, perhaps?
That is my plan. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the sooner that we get on the Orient Express and get to Paris, the better.
Okay.
Just because who knows who may be coming after us besides the Turks.
Agreed.
All right. So you guys are going to figure out your passage on the train.
I will use the concierge service, and this is when it was the cross keys. So if necessary, I will tip this gentleman well, and I'll ask him for his next contact. Of course, it's going to be someone that he knows because they networked back then. You know, if you've seen like the Budapest Hotel, I know it's kind of like that sort of thing. So I want him to meet me and ask for Paris in Paris, and you have to stay in this hotel, blah blah blah. And if so, then I will go to said hotel so that I will be taken care of, and that way he can pass through Telegram or whatever, and I'll give him a tip for it, of course.
Okay, we actually. All you have to do is
just pay the man.
Well, I said it before we started the game, but I said that all you really have to do is tell the concierge where you're going, and he'll make sure you get the tickets and that your baggage is and where you're going to stay, and all of that will be taken care of.
All right, groovy.
So that we don't have to go through that every time we go to the next city.
Fine.
So the trip from London is going to be like this. There is no tunnel that connects England and France yet. So what happens is you take a train, and it's part of the Wagonlit Company, which owns the Orient Express. You take a train from London to Dover, which is, I believe, about a 9-hour trip. I'm sorry, I'm reading this. My eyesight. It's a 2-hour trip.
I was about to say that's a long trip.
And then from Dover, you have to take a steamer across the channel, and that can take about 4 hours, depending on the weather and the currents and everything. And then you arrive in Calais, and then you take the train from Calais to Paris, which is another 3 hours. So you're talking about a
full day.
About a 9-hour trip. During which time, you can discuss things, you can go over things. Is there anything you want to discuss or talk about while you're on this train? Your train leaves, by the way, at the next train leaves at about 11 in the morning, tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm. I try to stay alive until then. If it ruins your plans, please let me know.
And you're going to arrive in Paris about 10:30 at night.
All right.
Okay.
Well, there's nothing. I mean, you were thinking about the like Frank was talking about going to an occult shop, perhaps to do a bit of
Before you leave.
before we leave. I don't know if we'll have enough time for that, though.
Well, if you go in the morning.
Okay.
So where would you like to go? What sort of shop are you looking for?
Ye old occult shop.
Yeah, basically, because I think during that time is when occultism was really getting popular. So these stores might not be that difficult to find.
Okay.
We need to find the leaky cauldron and go out back. And
I love it.
Right.
Yeah, it's down at the end of Diagon Alley,
Right.
which the English pronounce diagonally. All right, you find an occult shop. It's actually a bit bigger than some of them. And they carry all sorts of paraphernalia for Ouija boards and things like that, and tarot cards. And what would you like to do?
So I'll approach the owner and introduce myself, or us all. I guess we're all there, right?
Yes.
And just let him know that we're in town, although we're leaving shortly, but we might be coming back and providing future business. And could we perhaps rely on his services to ask questions about the occult?
Of course.
Great.
Of course, sir.
So the first question, just to jump right to it, have you ever heard of the simulacrum? The
Sedevkos. Well, I'm not repeating it. You're saying it.
Yeah.
No. What is it?
Yeah, that's what I was hoping you might be able to tell us. It's basically a statue that originated in France, probably. There's a story of it being destroyed, and we're just trying to find out more information on it and looking for answers.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Okay.
Would you like to buy a Ouija board?
I will pass this time, but maybe next time.
All right. Tarot cards?
I would, yes, tarot cards. Rider White series, please. I'm a beginner.
There you go.
I'll buy tarot cards as well. Does he have any books on, say, true magic or alchemy?
Yeah. I mean, he's got a few books. They're all modern works.
Okay, nothing. So all of it, this looks like basically your run-of-the-mill shop.
Occult
It's a tourist trap. I'm going to ask him if I can find a place where I can find rare books.
A rare bookstore. Yes, there's quite a few of them in London. There's Darrell's right down the street.
Oh, smashing. Is that just near Reginald's, the pub? Is it to the left? Is it to the right? Give directions and then we'll be on our way, basically.
It's right across the street, though, right?
Ah, smashing. Smashing.
All right.
We'll go across the street. And as we cross the street, I will wait till we're like in the center of the street, and I'll say, I don't think we need to air out our business about certain things because of the skinned man. I think that if anybody is following us, would simply, for a small but yet nominal fee, pay that man and ask, hey, what did those 4 people ask about? And guess what? Now they know where we're going and what we're doing. So,
yeah, I got about halfway through my question and realized the same thing. So
I would like to keep my skin. Now, I'm a little skeptical. Yes.
Speaking of skin, what language was that written in? That the little note that was written on that small piece of skin that you pocketed?
I'm not sure yet, but we'll get a chance to investigate that when we get to Paris. I didn't want to do anything with it now because I feared that we might be being followed. And let's continue on.
What remind me? What languages do each of you speak?
Latin and English.
Latin and English as well.
English, Arabic, and Sumerian.
Oh, you sexy beast, you.
A little bit, man.
English and just a little tiny bit of French.
Parlez-vous français?
And Riley, how about your character?
Oh, I thought I said, oh.
I didn't hear it.
Arabic and Sumerian.
Okay. The language looks vaguely familiar to you, Riley, but it's not obviously not written in Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
Or in ancient Sumerian, but
Yeah.
it just has a ring to it that sounds vaguely familiar.
Can I do a roll of some kind?
No, you don't know what it says.
Okay.
All right. Anything else before you board your train and head out?
I will.
There's actually something very important we need to address. How about your families?
Don't have any.
I'm not paying for my family for this trip. I want to do this alone.
So you're going to send Alphonse home?
No, I'm gonna have Alphonse with me.
All right. Unfortunately, Thomas isn't here. He brought his wife. Can we make the decision for him that he probably sends her home?
Yeah, I would. Even if he started to insist.
I want to say something, but I'm not going to be sexist.
No. What I would say, if he was insisting to bring his family, I would say that this sort of thing is a little dangerous.
He would never risk danger with her, but
yeah.
Yeah, so I would. Even if he wanted to bring his family, I would try to talk him into.
But the kids are okay. The wife, send her back. The 5-year-old and the 7-year-old, we just send them ahead.
Before I leave, though, I do want to pick up I wonder if they have these, but I do want to pick up a sword cane.
A sword cane, okay.
Cool.
You now have a sword cane,
All right.
which you purchased from a little haberdasher. A rapier. All right, so can we assume that you guys are going to get on the train?
Yes.
All right. This train is not quite as luxurious. It's still okay, and it takes you 2 hours to ride to Dover. You go through the countryside. This part of England's actually quite rural. It's very pretty. Even though that it's winter and then lots of the trees have lost their leaves. There's pines here and there, and there's little villages that you pass through. And ultimately, you end up in Dover. From Dover, you take a steamer that takes you across the channel. The channel's a little choppy. I'd like you all to do Constitution rules to see if you all get sick.
I refuse to believe that I will get sick.
I make it. I get a hard roll.
I got a hard roll as well, and I make it.
Okay.
Hang on.
Failed. I would probably be in the lower decks or inside too. I'm not a big fan of the water.
If you failed, you're seasick.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I got my sea legs. They're going on. I got a 0-7, baby.
Oh, nice.
I'm a sailor. I'm a sailor, damn it.
So it takes a full 4 hours to get across the channel, and you land in Calais. Now in Calais, you're actually attaching to cars that will be simply attached to the cars of the Orient Express. But you guys, they'll do that when they get to Paris. You, of course, are not going to go beyond Paris. You're going to stop in Paris. So, do you guys want to discuss anything before you arrive in Paris? You've got
I would like to
about 3 hours.
The only thing I should have did back in London was send a telegram or something to the local university, and I'm inquiring on students' help for research that speak English as well as French.
Are you talking about in Paris?
Yes, 3 hours away. Send a telegram.
Okay, so
to student services or something like that, and to post something, and then I will post at what hotel I am, but I won't reveal, of course, the number because I don't have a number or anything.
Okay.
I'm looking for student help, good pay. Must speak both English and French.
Okay. We'll say that you did send that off.
Please.
I'll say, speaking of telegrams, I will send something back to the Arcane Society, letting them know, what we're doing, where we're going, that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, we'll assume that Dr. Giles, you sent that telegram before when you were booking your hotel and everything.
Yeah, I'm going to do everything through the concierge, please.
But Dr. Dawkins, we'll assume that you didn't think of it at that time, and
yeah,
when you get to Paris, you'll do it there.
That's what I was thinking.
So, you arrive in Paris at 10:33 p.m. We need to find out where you're going to stay, and I'm going to send you over this next week. I will send you a complete
itinerary.
Guide. Yeah, it's the guide that they give you when you get on board the Orient Express, so that you know all the sightseeing stuff to do. Well, let's pick a. Oh, here's Paris.
Yes. Mr. Everett.
Yes.
If you have time, I would like. I love languages. Mm-hmm. So I would like to, if you have time, to teach me a little bit of Arabic here and there.
Sure.
Inshallah. By hamdulillah, as they would say.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the Bristol Hotel, you've got the Hotel du Rhin, and the Balmoral Hotel, which you should see. You can see the map.
Yeah.
Okay, when we pull into Gare du Nord, I guess we'll just take taxi cabs to the Bristol.
Okay, so you're gonna stay at the Bristol?
Yeah.
Which is okay.
All right, let's do that.
We will assume actually that you booked which hotel you're going to go to beforehand. So your baggage will be transferred to the Bristol, and they'll probably have sent cars to pick you up because it's 10:30 at night.
Okay.
Okay, and Dr. Dawkins, you're going to go to the telegraph office before you leave the train station.
Correct.
And send them. What are you going to send to?
So I will say to the effect that Dr. or Professor Smythe was injured and his house burned down. Stop. He sent us to look for a particular artifact. Stop. We are currently in Paris, and we will give you news of any of our further discoveries. End message.
Okay. While you are there, you pick up a message that has been sent to you via Telegraph Restant, And this is the message.
Oh,
All right.
smashing.
So I take that with me.
All right.
And of course I share it with my companions here.
Excellent. So it is late at night. You get to your hotel, and I'm going to assume that you all go to bed.
Yes.
Right.
I'm going to ask you an odd personal question.
Okay.
What do each of you? Let's see. We got Frank, Dr. Dawkins, Dr. Gills, and crying out loud, my head just went out.
Hey, you.
Everett.
Just say, hey, you.
Everett.
Yes.
Good. Weird personal question. We'll go down the line. Frank, describe your personal habits before you climb into bed at night,
Oh, this is going to be fun.
and what you wear, and so forth. Frank, Jeff.
Tell who you were, damn it.
I was typing notes and got
I
lost.
know, me too.
So I'm just gonna probably have a nightshirt. It's cold out, so I might even have a nightcap. And then just the usual, probably just brush my teeth and
Okay.
wash up and turn the lights out.
So one of those night shirts that goes all the way down to the ground.
Yep.
You sexy bastard, you.
Big red stripes down the matching hat. The hat has to
I know,
match.
I was waiting for the hat, too.
Oh, with the
Yeah,
hat.
I do.
The hat.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hat. All right, Dr. Dawkins.
What I tend to do is I'll have a brandy or something of that sort and a pipe before I go to bed. I usually soak for about a half hour to get my muscles nice and relaxed, and pretty much wear the pajamas, the nightcap, the long sort of robes.
So you got PJs.
Yeah.
Are they like cotton PJs or silk PJs?
Well, right
or?
now they would be wool because of the weather.
Well, you're okay. Dr. Giles.
Yes, Dr. Giles to my friends, Dr. Xavier for all others. I will have my manservant lay out my current book that I'm reading. Just a nip of alcohol and my reading glasses, and I stay up usually for about an hour before I go to bed. But I wear those real sexy onesie hoodie with the trap door, red wool, sexy beast mode kind of thing. Where
So
it's
the
like,
red wool long john.
Oh yeah, with the trap door on the back, with the little footsies.
All right.
Everything. No hat because that's just how I roll as a doctor.
And Everett.
So I usually drink a cup of tea before heading to bed, decaf, of course, and either read over the day's newspaper or any interesting research notes that I may have taken, brush my teeth, and go to bed in some wool pajamas.
So you've also got wool pajamas.
Yes.
PJs.
Mine are onesies, damn it.
All right. So you go to sleep. Next morning, you get up, and I'd like a plan of action. What you guys going to do? You are in Paris.
Yes.
Who wants to go first?
I will go to the Bibliothèque Nationale and look up Comte Fenelon.
Okay. Are you all going to go to the Bibliothèque Nationale de Paris?
I would
Yes,
rather
after
I would rather-
second breakfast.
Okay, after breakfast, obviously. Yes, you guys haven't eaten in days. We'll assume you had breakfast, and
Yes.
during breakfast, I will send out with a driver, a messenger, to see if anybody has responded to my cry for help at the university, because I do not speak French. It's just like when I was in Bosnia, Spain, or Russia. Everything's going to be written in the home language, so I know I'm going to be lost. So there's no use in me going there without a translator. So if they're going to go and research, that's fine. I'll stay back behind, but I'll wait until I can get somebody to help.
Okay.
While I'm in France, I will pick up some premium snuff for my trips.
Okay. Here's the thing. Okay, so Dr. Giles, you're staying back at the hotel.
Yes.
When the rest of you get to the Bibliothèque Nationale de Paris, you encounter a problem. The problem is they don't let people walk in off the street and do research in their library. You have to have documentation showing that you are qualified to do research. You have to have permission from the English embassy, or you can fill out paperwork and they will process it in about 3 days, at which time you will be granted a limited access. You will not actually be able to do the physical research yourself, but you will have to hire somebody from the university who is qualified to handle the rare books and documents, because they have hundreds of thousands of documents, especially from the periods you're looking for. But they have to be delicately handled. So they do give you the telephone number of the university where you can call and find if you can find a translator who is willing to work for you. And they give you the paperwork that you need to fill out and turn in.
All right, so I guess that's the fastest way to gain entrance. So I'll fill out my paperwork, as well as go to the university itself and find someone to help translate.
Okay, well,
I'll follow suit too.
the paperwork takes you about a half an hour to fill out, and you turn it in, and it's got all of your contact information, the hotel you're at and everything, so they said that they'll contact you in 3 days when they are ready.
Did you give them your real name?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yes, they gave you, in fact, they gave you the name of a student named...
Oh, no, I meant when they were filling out the paperwork, did Everett and Dr. Dawkins give their real name?
Let's hope so, because they're going to want probably to see your passport. They're going to check your documents.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to check their documents, checking my documents.
So, okay, now you guys are heading towards the university. When you arrive, it takes you. You have to go through a lot of administration, but you end up being directed to a dormitory where you can talk to you're constantly getting more direction, where to go, who to talk to, and so forth. When you finally get to one of the men's dormitories, you're directed up to the 3rd floor to room 314. And you're told that it's a young man named Remy Vanheim. Vanheim. I can't pronounce this guy's last name.
Bless you.
Anyways, so I assume you go up to the 3rd floor.
Yeah, and knock.
You knock on his door.
Yeah.
All right. After a few moments, the door is answered, and Monsieur Vanheim, you tell me. answers the door, and he's smoking a cigarette. Yes, what do you want?
Good morning, sir. Heard that you would help us, assist us in a bit of research at the library.
The bibliothèque, of course. Please come in for a moment. My fee is 50 francs a day.
What's the currency rate, exchange rate between pounds and pence?
You would ask me that, wouldn't you? 50 francs. 50 francs is probably about $25 a day.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
Do you have your paperwork ready to go?
We filled it out. We're awaiting for the next few days.
Oh, you filled it out. You just filled it out today. You didn't call ahead, huh?
No.
Well, in that case, I wanted to introduce myself and my companions here, and just to get to know you a bit before we get into this bit of research. Perhaps we can buy you lunch and dinner during your time working for us as well. Well, that is not necessary. I'm actually in the middle of something at the moment, but I'll tell you what. I will meet you at the Bibliothèque Nationale in 3 days' time at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Sounds quite good, sir. Thank you.
Okay. And if you are confused because my French accent occasionally turns into a German accent.
I know that! I knew that!
That's because I haven't practiced today.
Wilhelm! Talk to me! Wilhelm! Are you there?
All right. Anyways, and then he dismisses you and goes back. So, looks like you've got three days or so in Paris before you can begin your research.
Okay. Now, are there any occult shops here in Paris?
I'm sure there are.
Okay.
My question is, does my ad ever get answered?
No.
Roll some dice and just make me feel better.
All right.
And then say no. Just make me feel better. Please.
No.
After the first day, I'm going to get frustrated, and I'm going to go to the concierge and say, look, believe it or not, I don't know anything about Paris. I'm here.
Actually, at this point, you would have been given the book.
The book?
The book about you're traveling on the Orient Express.
Ah.
Yeah.
So, what I'm going to have to do is, where is my book? Oh, I've got a version. Hold on. It's what I'm going to send you guys. You guys can print it out, carry it around with you. Where is it? Where is it?
Does it have little phrases like, where's the toilet?
Where is my book?
Merci beaucoup.
Yes. Merci beaucoup.
You just called my mother a French hole.
Yes, he did. Damn it. I'm not with him. Take my money instead. Tom, I think you're off. If you can hear us.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. I do it all the time.
I think somebody sneaks into my office here and hides my stuff.
It's those damn Turks. You're lucky they didn't hide anything or skin your body. Then you'd really complain.
That'd be funny if it was.
And I'll be right back to you.
So sorry, just for reference, when you guys say the Turks, that's like you're referring to them as a nationality, right?
The people from Turkey.
Right. Okay.
Probably more correctly, the Ottoman Empire.
It's not like a cult or something like that. It's basically just...
Right now, actually, in England, it's very popular. Oh, here it is. Very popular to wear the fez. It's almost become a fashion statement in England.
Oh.
Mine doesn't fit, it's too small. Anyway, this is the little booklet that I'm going to send you. It's all this stuff. And this is what it says about Paris. Oh, I'll wait for Richard. Oh, there, Richard.
I'm here.
Okay.
Tell me about Gay Paris.
Paris is the capital and largest city of France. It's situated on the river Seine in northern France at the heart of the Ile-de-France region. In the 1890s, Baron Haussmann rebuilt Paris. He swept away the crooked, narrow slums to make room for a modern city of spacious squares, long boulevards, and elegant terraces. Paris is now the quintessence of urban sophistication, although the wandering visitor easily finds the charming, meandering back streets of the medieval city. Advice to travelers.
Ooh.
At the station, passengers are advised to hail a cab, which will take its place in the front. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? To hotels, currency, places of interest. The Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yes.
The Eiffel Tower is close to the Seine and is the most conspicuous object on the Champs de Mars. It was built by Gustave Eiffel in less than 2 years in 1889. And there's all sorts of information about it, how tall it is and so forth. There's the Bibliothèque Nationale. There's the Louvre, which is, of course, the big art museum. There's the Cathedral de Notre Dame, the big cathedral. There's the catacombs.
Yeah.
And that's what it's basically telling you about Paris.
Let's go see dead people in the catacombs.
Dead Parisians. If Frank would like to accompany me, I would like to go to the Eiffel Tower and then walk to Notre Dame and then the Louvre, because it's all in one. I've been there, so it's all in one area, and he's got photography skills. So since we're going to kill time, I wanted to kill time that way. And while the two of us are together with my manservice, and I think he's got one too, that if we can, occasionally just take scenery pictures in hopes that if we find somebody in all these pictures, one of these things is not the same. You know, just in case we catch somebody following us just by chance in a photograph after it gets processed. That's my plan, because I'm getting a little paranoid. Not too paranoid as Richard Hawkins, but just paranoid enough for my character.
Now, you want to do that all in one day? You got 3 days.
I know. The catacombs is going to take a lot of time. The Louvre would probably take... The Louvre took me a lot of time. Eiffel Tower and Notre Dame, it was just about an hour. You know,
Okay.
Went up, looked around, took some pictures, came down. I'm not Catholic. I went into the damn box and confessed and then said, oh, by the way, I'm not Catholic. Because I thought it was funny when I was a kid. So that was unfortunately, my horrible sense of humor at Notre Dame. So I confess to what I did over there back in '83.
You're going to hell.
Yes, I know. And I told him I was going to take the Hell Express. He probably says something not so nice. But my man
There's something really nasty to you in French.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, he did. I'm sure he did. He just, you know, he was a stupid American, whatever.
Dirty little American. Yeah. All right.
I will send my manservant to. I also want to pick up a new suit because they have all the rage. You know, for fashions, and I want to be fashionable. You know, I want some new bow ties. Or
all right. Now you are carrying almost all your entire wardrobe with you already.
That's what the manservant's for. Hello, I'm Dr. Giles. I don't have to worry about that. I want one suit. I can afford it.
All right. What are the rest of you doing?
I want to go
with
to
him?
the catacombs.
Okay, you're going to head over to the catacombs.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to split up.
Yeah, it's Call of Cthulhu. It's always safe. It's always safe to do that. I've played this game before.
Okay.
I will look for some older-looking occult shops. Something that looks less modern, more authentic.
Let me ask, what are your intentions of the occult shops? Just curious.
I'm a scientist, but
To learn French?
Because I'm in the Arcane Society, I do want to sort of see what they've written about, sightings of ghosts, things like that. And I'll see if I can. I'm not going to ask, but I'll see if I can bump into some of this information that we're looking for through that avenue.
Okay.
Well, I do have one point. Since we are in Gay Paris, contact the concierge office once again and ask for a tour guide, because everywhere we're going, it's not like current America where you ride a ticket over there. Believe it or not, everybody there speaks French, and they don't speak English. So
Sure.
I'm going to be lost. I won't be able to read the signs. I won't know where the toilets are. So before we go out, Jeff or Frank, let's get ourselves a tour guide. I don't care if it's the concierge son. I don't care if it's the waiter that can barely speak a couple of words of English. Let's not go out unless we've got somebody.
That's a good idea. I'll look for something similar, but I'll look for a nice looking young lady to accompany me.
Wow.
Hey, all I can say is I want somebody that the concierge can advise me of, because I don't want to pick anybody that will roll me, because that was common back then too. I want somebody that he feels that he can trust, because I'm money to him. He doesn't want me to complain.
Concierge does have some suggestions.
Okay, I'll take his suggestions.
That he says. He says, "Well, monsieur," he says, "yes, I can have somebody here to give you a tour of the major attractions, as you will, if you will. There is usually a deal if you go in a larger group than just the two of you."
Yes. I will then, of course, talk to Dr. Dawkins and Mr. Everett, and I said that they're holding a group sale, and I think we should just stay together if possible. And we can all do everything that we need to do as a group, because we don't speak French. At least I don't.
I don't either. So I will join that group.
And I definitely don't want to do things like I did in France, being an ugly American. Because I want somebody to protect me. Because
you're an Englishman. What do you mean American? You're English.
I forgot. It's that Wilhelm. Stop me next time.
All right. So let me understand this. Are the four of you going together, or the three of you going together? And Dawkins, you're still going to the.
Well, I'll go with them today. Hopefully, okay. I can make a nice French female friend who will take me along the other 2 days. We can spend some time together.
I hear she's Turkish.
Okay, so anyways, after a half an hour or so, a tour guide shows up. It's a young woman, and she basically is going to show you around Paris. And she figures you might as well walk. It's quite a lovely town. It's not. It's the air is a little chilly this time of year, but it's not too bad. And there's no snow on the ground. So let's see. According to this map,
I'm taking Alonzo with me, by the way. So there's
Taking a what?
Alonzo, my manservant.
Oh yeah, just to be clear, I sent my guy home.
Okay. You sent your fellow home. Yeah, because you're going to have to pay for him.
Exactly.
And actually, a trip on the Orient Express is, this is a 5-star. It's not cheap.
Yeah, and good help is hard to find.
All right, so the first place we're going to go is the Eiffel Tower, which isn't too far from where you are. You cross the Champs-Élysées, and you go quite near the Seine, and you cross the Seine, and you head over to a very park-like area with the Eiffel Tower right in the center of it. The Eiffel Tower itself is, let's see.
Frank, can I borrow a camera before we go and set out and kind of help me again, refresh my memory on how to use things and stuff like that?
Sure, absolutely.
Let's see. The first platform of the... At this moment in time, the Eiffel Tower is the tallest structure in the world.
Ooh.
Now, I know there's an elevator, but I don't know that there was always an elevator.
I don't think there's always an elevator. There was an elevator back in the 80s, obviously. I think there's 2 at the bottom.
All it talks here about is steps, so I think you're going to have to climb if you want to go up the...
Good cardio workout. Good cardio workout. So
well,
that's fine.
The first platform is 190 feet above the ground. It's 350 steps to get up there. So you get up there and, you're a little tired, but you decide eventually to press on. The second platform is 380 feet above the ground, and that's another 380 steps to get up to it. There is kind of a glass-covered hall that's right there where you can look around and see the sights of Paris. The third platform is 904 feet and takes another 1,062 steps to get up to. And there is also a pavilion up there. And it's taken you 1,792 steps to get up there. And then amazingly, you discover there's an elevator. It actually, I just found it, and it says there is a hydraulic lift. So you didn't want to wait in line for 2 hours to get on the elevator.
Which is like normal. I mean,
right. It's taken you quite a while to climb up there, but the view from up there is spectacular. And,
I'm looking for Fez hats. Can I use my spot hidden roll?
Sure.
Here. Oh.
What time of day is this?
Well, you got here first thing in the morning. It's now probably about noon. Well, no, it's not quite. Maybe 11 o'clock. It took you maybe an hour to climb up. Did you make your spot hidden?
42 out of 60 for full. Half, of course, is 30. So I'm looking for Fez's.
Okay. Well, it's not so much a fashion statement in Paris right now, so you don't see anything.
Okay. That reassures me.
You decide to take the hydraulic lift down.
That's a really good idea because that first step is a doozy.
It's actually easier to do because the people coming up want to walk around for a while. So there's just the people who are tired of walking around that now want to go back down. So you end up back on the ground, and from there, where are we going here now? The Notre Dame. Let's see, Notre Dame. Actually, Notre Dame is quite a ways from there.
We'll take a cab. By we'll take the.
By that time, I would say by that time it's about noon. So I'll have this young lady. I'm saying, you've taken us around a little bit. Let's stop for a bit of lunch.
Okay, and she suggests a really nice little Paris cafe.
Kick back.
And it's across from the Cathedral de Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Kick back.
While we're having a lunch, I try to get to know her a little bit better.
Okay, she's French.
Roll for your Mac skills.
Throw the Mac on. The first thing she does is she tries to pick the lock on your greenhouse.
Yeah. Hell yeah! I told you. They're terrorists, damn it! They're terrorists. The land of terrorists.
She seems to be a very sweet girl, but she does start immediately talking about her boyfriend, her fiancé.
What's that got to do with me?
Back off. All the while, she's giving you all sorts of stuff about the city and how it was designed and everything the way that it was done. So after lunch, and you have a delicious lunch, French food, you end up going to the Cathedral de Notre Dame, the huge cathedral. And I believe that's on a little island in the middle of the Seine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And right across, heading back inward or outward, is a Bohemian. We got like a Bohemian bazaar. That's really cool.
Cool. The Cathedral de Notre Dame was once the Royal Cathedral of Paris and had been frequently altered during its long history. The damage inflicted on it during the Revolution has been repaired, but its effect on the beholder is less than pleasing, probably owing to the absence of spires. However, the view from the towers of Notre Dame is one of the finest in the city. The entrance to the towers is outside the church, and the ascent may be made in summer, so you can't go up there this time of year. The interior of the church is open to visitors daily, and there are services on Sundays. Other than that, it's a medieval Gothic church. It's beautiful, and you finish with that. And by now, it's probably about 2:00, and your guide asks if there's anything else at the moment you'd like to see, or if you're getting tired. You've been walking all day long, and you climbed the Eiffel Tower.
Is that enough to kill for one day, gentlemen? Or do you want to push on to the Louvre?
She says, would you like me to meet you tomorrow and take you someplace else?
That would be fine.
Yeah,
yes.
Like the Louvre and the catacombs we're also interested in.
Ah, the Louvre is beautiful.
So
the Louvre is a nice place. When you go there, what you can do is decide upon a meeting place and then simply wander throughout. There are so many things to see. You can wander there for a week.
How far, do you know, are we from Milan?
Milan, Italy?
Isn't Milan in Paris?
No,
Italy.
Quite a ways.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I thought it was in Paris.
No.
The fashion district?
Yes.
Everybody has a fashion district. Los Angeles has a fashion district.
Yes, Milan is like the fashion capital of the world. And that is in Milan, Italy.
Okay.
I do have a map. I will send it to you after the show. All right. So what would you all like to do for the rest of the day? And we can jump ahead to tomorrow and do something else if you want the Louvre or the catacombs.
I still want to look for those books, but I guess I can wait.
Okay, we'll just say that afternoon you go looking around occult shops, and you don't really find anything more than you find at any other occult shop. Also, bear in mind that most of the stuff that you find in occult shops, you guys consider just nonsense.
Nonsense. Okay.
Yeah. If you look in rare bookstores, you find, you guys being the experts, you also find that there are a lot of fakes.
Okay.
You'll find books that look like they're, some old grimoire, and upon closer examination, you realize, yeah, this is some fake that somebody put together once again to sell at a high price to the same people that buy the tarot cards and the Ouija boards.
Well, I bought tarot cards, so they're a novelty.
Yeah, they're a novelty. And the designs on them are beautiful sometimes.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe in the hands of certain people they do function. But all right.
All right. Next day.
You also have. I'm sorry. What was that?
I was saying next day. I mean, if you wanted to jump.
All right. Well, say you have a sumptuous meal. You go to bed. And you enjoy yourselves. The next day, what would you like to go to? The Louvre or the catacombs?
I'm going to vote for the catacombs. I feel kind of
Catacombs.
Yeah.
well rested, and since we can spend a lot of time at the Louvre, we can just do that until we get clearance.
Okay. Let me ask a question. Are any of you particularly fat?
No.
Not particularly, no.
No? Okay.
No, a bit.
Claustrophobic, maybe.
Well, it's something that actually does come up at the catacombs. I doubt seriously that I could make it. They're narrow, they're tight, they're difficult. All right. You arrive at the catacombs, and your guide, basically, she says, Messieurs, I have to explain something to you. There is a path that you take when you go through this entrance, and it will wind around, and you will come out over there. And she sort of points in a direction. She says, I have to dismiss myself. I do not want to go into the catacombs. But you don't need a translator when you're down there. Just follow the path, and you'll eventually come out at the other end, and I'll be waiting for you there.
Very well.
That strikes Dr. Giles a little strange, but...
well, she's a girl, and she doesn't like dead things.
Yeah, that's what he'll chalk it up to.
She says it's spooky. It's spooky.
Spooky is good. Alonzo will definitely take the lead for Dr. Giles.
He'll do what?
He'll take the lead.
All right.
And warn him, oh, don't, watch your step here and stuff like that. Because Giles is not he's an intellect. He's not physical. And this is going to be like a physical test. So he would probably, I see him bumping his head or putting his hand on something he shouldn't, and the skull rolls over and he would fall over. So
how's the lighting down here?
0. It's 0 down there. There's no lights except for candles.
Well, they've given you torches in this case.
Okay.
And I mean flashlights. Let's see. So, you pay your fee to go in, and of course, the first thing that you notice as you're getting ready to go in is the sign over the door, which I believe says something to the effect of "Here lies the kingdom of the dead."
Yes.
And you go down into the catacombs.
Sweet.
And the catacombs in places are narrow. Obviously, let me read a little bit about it. The catacombs are former quarries worked since Roman times and extending some 200 miles beneath the city. With the closure of the city's cemeteries in the 1770s, the remains of over 6 million people were brought here, converting a portion of the quarries into a vast carnal house. The galleries are completely lined with human bones and skulls carefully arranged. Visitors, then it's just details about how much it costs and all that to go through there. So now there's not really a tour that takes you through. You simply follow along the path, and there's places where there are lots of alternative paths going off in directions that are roped off, and in some cases there are iron gates that are
safety
there.
reasons.
Now, as you are traveling through the catacombs, and they're actually quite extensive, and you were warned very specifically,
stay on the path.
Don't wander off, because
You'll get
there
lost.
are literally hundreds of miles, and you could die down here, never find your way back.
And people have.
Oh, if you're going to die somewhere, this is the perfect place to die.
I guess so. Yeah, they just brush you.
No, I would say personally in bed.
Now, you are in the deepest part of the catacombs, and you've seen a few other people coming one way or the other as you're walking, but not very many people. And by now you've been alone for quite a while as you're walking, and there's something very, how should we say, beautiful about the catacombs, and at the same time, obviously a little chilling, all these human bones, but it sort of gives you that sense of mortality, that everybody dies. Eventually, you're all going to die. And
I by the sign, initially, I wanted to take a picture of just the four of us and have Alonzo take the photograph of the four of us.
Okay, he did.
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
As you are in this deepest part of the catacombs, you think you hear a noise, and directly to your side there is an iron gate leading off into another part of the catacombs, and you are almost sure that you heard what sounded like bones, sort of rattling around, just a ways down that side passageway there. A very, very distinct sound.
I think we should go and investigate that.
Investigate that noise.
Okay,
But
well,
but before we leave off this path, I guess it would be prudent to perhaps tear a piece of cloth or something like that, mark our way, so that we don't get lost.
Or I can stay here.
Or if you wish, you can stay here.
okay. When you come up to the gate, you can see that the gate has a big old key lock on it. However, it's all been rusted through. So with very little effort, you can push the gate open.
Okay. We'll do so.
Locks are for honest people.
And it's dark beyond, and you can see that at this moment there's probably no way that you could get lost, because it's just it's going straight on.
Yeah, whatever the crypt keeper tells us. Hey, it sounds good. Let's go on in, guys.
So anyways, as you go forward, you hear more of this noise, and it sounds almost like, I suppose the first thought you had was like maybe rats knocking bones over, but it's not that haphazard. It's more a regular noise. And the corridor finally opens up into a larger room, which is still all lined with bones. And there's somebody on the far end of the room. On the ground, you can't really see them clearly. There's obviously somebody sitting on the ground, and they're stacking bones around themselves.
What does
But
this
you don't.
look like?
Well, from where you are, you're not really. The person isn't really facing you, and you're thinking maybe a homeless person.
Yes. Yeah, that
But
makes sense.
but their actions are so odd. They're taking the bones, and they're almost like trying to cover themselves in the bones.
Get ready to take a picture, Alonzo.
Are you, Dr. Giles? Are you back in the room? You didn't come with them?
Oh, I came with them, but I know that they're way ahead of me because I would probably be the last person in this. And upon seeing this, I of course would want Alonzo to, of course, take a picture.
Okay.
But I will wait till everybody has some sort of interaction, and as soon as interaction happens, snap the shot.
All right. What do you guys do? Do you guys approach, or?
Just a quick question. When we approached this gate initially, you said it was rusted. Was it, or did it appear to be already open then? In other words, it wasn't locked from this side.
It was locked, but it was when you put just a little bit of force, the rust obviously it was rusted through.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. So would we be the first ones to have done that? Like this person would have entered
Yes.
from another entrance?
Yeah, there was no evidence that anybody had broken through that gate before.
Okay.
So what would you guys do? This guy is probably about, still probably about 20 feet away from you, maybe a little less, maybe 15 feet. And
he didn't react at all to us coming down the hallway?
I don't think he's even noticed yet. He's very busy. Now, you haven't seen his face yet.
Right.
But like I say, he's not really facing you.
So I say with a strong, powerful voice, "Who goes there?" You.
Really? Is that what you say?
Yes.
When you do that, he suddenly starts.
Flash goes off. He's already engaged.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said. You take a picture?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're in the back, so...
I want him to take a picture, so if possible. If not, then no picture. Okay.
Okay, well, you can take a picture if you want. Okay, so your flash goes off. Now, you've got the big thing with the big flash thing. Yes?
Yes.
So it makes a loud noise.
Yeah.
If you've ever had one of those.
Yeah.
When
now
you
we all lost our night visions. Now we're all blind.
Yeah. I can see that, unless you cover your right eye. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This person, when the flash goes off, actually when you make the noise and then when the flash goes off, it sort of jumps and turns towards you and says something in French.
Mad!
Like no molestar, no, I don't know my French, I know Spanish. It obviously sounds something like don't molest me or don't bother me. When it does, you see that its face is not quite human. It looks almost dog-like, almost canine. And it says it's speaking in French, but in a very guttural, and it's motioning for you to go away. No, no, none.
I will, whenever I can come a little bit forward, I will say, "Parlez-vous anglais?"
It says, no, none, none. Now, as it's doing this, you notice that it has prodigious claws. Okay. You also notice that it has canine teeth. But it's not being hostile. It's just wanting to be left alone. No.
I will ask for it to parley, because it understands, of course, the French word parley, and that I try to convey the words that I can think of as parley, parley. I'm just telling him to talk. And obviously, I am of British accent, and hopefully non-threatening to him.
Frank, do you understand what he's saying?
I don't speak a single bit of French.
Not you, Dr. Giles.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was talking to Frank. You said you know a bit of French, right?
A little bit, very little bit. I mean, I can read street signs. I could get us to a bathroom.
Well, it's simple enough. He's saying,
Go away.
go away. Don't hurt me. Don't bother me. And you can probably say a few words in French, a few simple phrases.
Can you tell him we mean him no harm?
Yeah, well, we'll take a step back, everyone, and kind of show him our hands and show him that we don't mean him harm. And I'll attempt to say that in French.
Okay. So he seems to maybe understand you, and he doesn't. It looks like he doesn't know what to do.
Ask him, what is he doing here? Like, what is this?
That's probably a little too sophisticated. You'd have to know more French.
I asked him if he had spaghetti for dinner.
Oh, yes. Oui.
Anyways, what would you guys like to do? Or
Jeff.
Well, while we're talking to him, can we see what exactly he was doing? I know he was stacking bones around him, but
well, he's kind of sitting in a little depression in the ground, and it's almost as if he was trying to cover himself up with bones, bury himself in bones. Make a blanket out of bones.
Frank,
are we close enough to tell if it's a mask?
Good point.
I'd say if it's a mask, it's got expression to it. It's moving when his face moves. Go ahead and do a spot hidden.
All of us?
Well, Frank, because he's closest and he's looking.
Oh my, that's 100.
Yeah, you see it. You know what it is exactly.
You can't tell, but you really don't think that it's a mask. You think that's his face, and you're also not sure. You don't think that he's deformed. You think that that's what he looks like, and it's definitely not. It's not human. It's canine. It's dog-like. Everybody else do a spot hidden though.
Dr. Giles, take another picture, please. We're going to send this one back to the university, or to the Arcane Academy.
Well, before you do that, do it quick.
I got a 6, and my spot hidden is a 45. So.
Okay. Do you have any history?
Me?
Yeah.
History.
I do.
I do too.
Yes, I do. I have a 40 in history.
I have 60 in both stats, and I have to roll. Give me a second.
Why don't you do it? Go ahead and do. Yeah.
Both.
I'll get back to you in just a second, Dawkins.
Okay.
Survey says 88 for the first one for spot hidden, and for history a 70. So I fail both.
Okay.
Can I roll a history roll? Or...
Yes, you can.
Okay. 47. I make it.
Good job, man.
Dawkins, what you suddenly notice is you grab Everett's arm and you say, "Isn't he wearing some kind of a uniform?"
Is he wearing some kind of uniform?
And when Everett looks closer, what Everett realizes is that it looks like a French uniform, but something like from the 1700s.
I'll relay that information to the group so that they all...
Okay.
Frank, I'm sure he can see me, so I will say something in British, and I will announce my former rank, and I will salute him, introducing myself, of course, in my native tongue. Give him a snappy salute. The salute was done back in the Renaissance. It was to show knights that there was nothing in their hands. So I figure that he will recognize what I'm doing.
All right. So you snap a salute.
And I address myself, give him a rank and
Okay.
title.
When you salute, he has kind of an odd expression in his face, almost like fear. His face sort of snarls a little, the way a dog does, and he suddenly bolts for one of the passages leading out of the room.
Damn it.
And almost
Sorry,
before you know that he's moving, he's gone. And his legs were definitely haunch-like, like a dog's legs, with, once again, prodigious claws on it. But he was definitely dressed in some sort of a French, like maybe even Napoleonic.
That's what I was thinking, but I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, Napoleonic uniform. And he's gone.
I'll go to the area that he was sitting in, and see if there's
What's that?
The area that he was sitting in, that he surrounded.
Okay.
See if there's any like hairs or anything like that, any type of pieces of clothing or something like that might have fell off or ripped off.
There obviously he'd stacked up bones, and he was sitting there. Yes, you do find. Well, do a spot hidden. Might as well make it honest.
Official.
Nope.
Okay, so you don't really find anything.
Okay.
I suppose one other of you can look also.
I'll go and look too. So. Okay. I made it.
Okay, you find a button, a uniform button.
Okay.
It's a little tarnished gold button, and other than that, you don't find anything else. And now what do you do?
I say we head back to the main path and continue on with the tour.
Yeah.
Okay. So you head back to the main path.
I just have to take a moment real quick to say that here we are in the catacombs with skulls around it, and we're standing next to a guy who's saluting a dog man. just the visual of that just was like, this is awesome.
I tried for something that would, when I meet other soldiers from different units, and we can't speak a damn single word, I try something that we have a common bond with. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And unfortunately, it scared him off. So I apologize, gentlemen.
No, not at all. How else do you normally react to a dog person? So.
Yeah. Well, you had the knowledge that the face would move. I thought it was just somebody that was still playing. That's the way I took it. So I thought he was just playing, but after you explained it to me, I was like, I'd be a little bit, wow, kind of in shock.
Okay, now you have spent quite a few hours down here, and eventually you work your way back up, and you exit, and you meet your tour guide.
Okay.
And I think we've only got 5 minutes left, so I think that's where we'll call it. And you can continue. You'll have one. What's that?
Does she have a name so I can put it in my notes?
Give her a French name. Christina.
Ah, Christine.
So what we'll do is we will pick up. Let's assume that you have dinner, and you're exhausted from your trip. You also have things to chit chat about because of what you saw, how strange it was.
Yeah.
So you're going to pick up tomorrow. Christina said once again that she'll take you to the Louvre, but if you want, you can just go and wander around. You're not going to be talking. You're going to be looking at paintings.
Yeah.
And statues. So we'll just decide that. Do you want her with you tomorrow, or do you just want to?
Oh, we'll give the young lady a break, and we'll go on our own. What day is this though? On our calendar.
Day 2. I think it's day 2.
Today was day. Catacombs was day 2, so you got one more day.
I mean, with the actual date.
Oh, let's see. We should have been keeping track. Let's see,
We're
Professor.
like 4 days in, are we? 5 days, maybe.
Well, let's see, Professor. You met with the professor for the last time on the 6th of January.
Okay.
The next day you went to the library. The next day you traveled to Paris. And then...
This is day 2 of us being...
It's the 10th.
So it's like day 11, probably.
10th of January. 1921.
No, 23.
Oh, I'm sorry, 23, excuse me.
So January 10th, 1923.
Yeah, that's what we'll say.
Okay.
That was day 2, so now we're... Day 3 would be the 11th?
Yes.
Right.
Right, okay.
I'll send you guys all the calendar. I'll send you a bunch of stuff tonight for you to print out and keep on your desks and keep track of things. It'll help you keep track of things.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, and you can also help plan your trip out a little bit.
Yeah.
So, okay.
One last question, or one last statement, dealing with the concierge. I would probably try to flash a little money and ask if he can find out if anybody actually works in the biblioteca that I could speak to that might speak some English, because I'm going through the proper routes. But I want a more closer look at certain things in your wonderful, wonderful town here. If you know what I mean.
You think the concierge can get you into the bibliothèque
No,
to
I
do
think
things
he
that...
knows. I think he knows people. That's what they did back then. I think they know low lives as well as high lives. You know.
I'm still not exactly sure what you want him to do for you, or
I want him
sort
to
of a
find
person.
somebody that actually works there, whether they're low life or high life, just a normal worker. Because after our visa, whatever is done, I still want to have a contact. Basically, that's what I'm looking for, a contact.
Other than the student who works there that you guys
Other than the
hired?
student, yeah. because a student is a student. If you got a worker that actually works in there, they might be able to stay in there after hours and do extra research for us. I don't know. That's my angle.
All right, he'll see what he can come up with.
Yeah, just that's it. If it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. But I'm a generous man. May I remind you?
Well, money doesn't always buy things when there's nothing.
Well,
he
thinks it does, because he's a doctor and that's what he's used to. So that's how he's going to act.
Okay, investigators, thank you for your participation, and thanks to all of our viewers for watching. We hope you enjoyed our game session. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you liked our show, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps. Please tune in next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next episode of Horror on the Orient Express. Until next time, always remember, if there's no light left to guide your path, your only choice is to venture into the darkness.
Or let others go ahead of you.
Or let others go ahead of you, yeah. Good night.